Yep.
Hello, good morning. Welcome into another episode of Good Morning NASDAQ right here on the Clover Trading YouTube channel. I'm a little stuffy. I'm still waking up to the week. Had one of several Christmases yesterday. Had a few too many margaritas, if you will, the Kyle special. But we're
Nice.
back. We're back. It's Wednesday, the 27th of December, the last week of 2023. How are we feeling about that, Kyle? Was it
My goodness.
bittersweet?
It has flown by. I can't believe it's last week, but I think and feel the markets. My watch list was quite large yesterday.
I'm excited to
So I
talk
felt,
about it because I didn't get a chance to do one.
yeah, I just felt very what's the word? Heightened or excited,
A lot
right? I
of
was
there
like,
was a lot of awareness ready to go into the market today because you have so much to watch.
yeah, there was a lot going on. I was like, wow, okay, if this continues into January, February, it's gonna be pretty sweet. So yeah, that's kind of how I'm feeling.
Yeah, it's kind of I was talking to someone about that a few days ago, and I was trying to decide if the market felt like you know. Usually, you can tell when momentum gets crazy. You have crazy runners, low floats, multi-day movers. It just felt like the last couple weeks weren't all that different than the couple weeks before it. It just felt like the opportunity, like I don't know if it was me trading better, but like there was no real theme. It's just kind of been stuff's been working. The breakouts that have I've traded have worked out a little bit better. There's been first red days. The gappers have been responding well. So this I like this type of market where it's not wild, it's not crazy. I'm not looking to swing for the fences and make home runs, but you just get a few solid singles, maybe a couple doubles each week, and you're happy. You're happy about it.
Yep, I couldn't agree more.
All right, everybody, welcome in. We'll be doing the show today, tomorrow, and Friday to wrap up the year. Then, obviously, New Year's Day will be off. Market's closed, correct? Next
New Year's Day,
Monday?
yes,
Okay,
same as Christmas. So that Monday will be off.
wonderful. And then, yeah, then before you know it, it'll be 2024. Will someone start writing in the chat? Because is there people who've written in the chat? I can't tell if it's mine that's wrong or if we just have no chatters yet. We got some likes. Make sure to hit that thumbs up button. A few housekeeping materials. This is your last week. You guys have till Monday to get 30% off any 3, 6, or 12-month Clover subscription for 3 or 4 leaf. Use code JOY30 at checkout, and that's going to get you your 30% off. This is one of the best deals we've ever had for multiple weeks. So make sure you guys get in there if you're looking to start the new year off with some mentorship, with some trading education. We'd love to have you, and we'd love to get you in the door for 30% off. Boot camp tickets will be going up in price next week, guys. I know we generally say that, and then we fib about it, and the prices don't go up because of how much of a discount we're giving to you guys at the start here. The early bird special for $450 for the New York City boot camp. The prices will be going up. Unfortunately, management will not allow any wiggle room. So make sure you guys are getting in on that at the ground floor. Going to be a phenomenal time in New York City. My first time being there. We're going to be able to see all the sights. And we're going to have a lot of amazing guest speakers. Nate's going to be there. Dux is going to be there. Trust me, your entry ticket's going to go a long, long way. We try to give you guys as much as possible, as much value for coming and joining us in person at these events. But all right, I'm starting to get my voice back. Let's get into the trading. Why don't Kyle you start with some tickers? If I want to bop myself in, I'll bop myself in, and
I didn't even realize that this is Wednesday.
it's
So
Wednesday.
yeah, as always, we're gonna go over my lengthy watch list here.
Good, because I
Um,
need to be I traded yesterday, but it was pretty much just the positions I was in. I wasn't actively looking. Um, so talk to me. What do we got? I know ALT's on its run from hell still.
yeah, that thing's crazy. So yeah, I guess we'll start with that one. ALT, for those who've been watching it in the last what? I mean, month really. It's been slightly in place since the beginning of December. Been quite choppy on many different days, but also been quite straightforward many different days as well. It kind of has its uh yeah, it just has its one or the other. And we thought it was dead back in mid December, and now we've come back and have broken out over this like mid eights level. We've had, two straight green days from, again, the eights now into, and a gap up into the 11s. Um, not that extended just yet, really. I mean, technically, you can call it from eights to 11. That's only what, approaching 50%. It would be really sick if today it went from 11 to like 13, like a whole nother move higher. It would enter a level of extension that I wouldn't be able to really ignore any longer, and start looking for a kind of backside move, no matter how choppy it's been in the past. If it happened today, like if we sold off down to like say $10 today, I really don't know if I would participate. Frankly, just because I don't feel all that convicted, given how choppy it's been, given the lack of extension by today. Now, granted, you could argue it's up from five because it has had a few days in a row and then only three red days and then the breakout continued. So there is that aspect to it as well, which is why there's a scenario in my head where I do short it today, but I really, really don't want to. I'd rather this go higher over 1250, 13 plus. But again, we'll see what happens out the open. Again, this is very choppy. So if I do miss it, then no harm, no foul. It's not going to be some massive, massive winner for me either way. Whether it's today, whether it's tomorrow, whether it's Friday. So that's something I'm gonna watch, keeping watch. Um, a stock I wish I played but didn't was BETS. Very low. I think it was our first, well, at least that I've seen, first NASDAQ sub penny. Had a really strong green day. Yesterday was on massive, massive volume, closed relatively close near its highs, and that was enough to kind of get it. And also a history of gapping, which you put those three together, is usually a recipe for a gap up. And by the after hours, it was already off for the races. And so, unfortunately, by the time I even saw it or wanted to recognize it in after hours as a potential play, um, it was already up, right? It was already indicating a gap up in the market, pre-market, and now today we're already approaching the high ones. So no play for me here. There's no world where I can chase this and feel like I'm still going to make money. The play is the gap up, and so the gap up's here. We're up what 57%. I'm not going to chase that. But anyone who took it long, congrats there. That's a sick, sick win. Other than that, if we keep going down the line, TUP, and I'll leave more of this up to Dom to talk about, I guess. But TUP's got a quite cute little chart here for a breakout at 272. Again, I wrote in my watches. It's probably not something I play, so it may confuse some people. Like, well, why is Kyle watching if it's not in play? Well, because one, I'm not really the best at listed breakouts per se, but I can't ignore a good looking daily chart when I see it. So I'm just going to keep an eye on that one, and I'll let Dom talk about that more when he goes over his watch list. Um, Today, specifically, UP up, the ticker up, is something I'm going to focus on. Um, Also, a very high institutional ownership stock, very similar to
Is this a
CCCC.
private jet company?
Yes, very similar to ALT. So they're legit, right? This is not your typical scammy, crappy penny stock. Granted, UP does lose money when last time I looked at their earnings reports. Um, and they have a history of just going on runs, right? Back in August through September, it ran from about a buck all the way up to four. Did a little mini one back in November from a buck to about 250, and now we've done one from about 150 all the way up to like 430 here. So it does have pullbacks. It can have red days. So that's kind of what I'm looking for here. Nothing crazy, nothing destructive, nothing. This company's a scam. I'm going to hold it forever. It's just, I just think technically there is due for a pullback, and so that's what I'm here to do. Today, maybe tomorrow, we'll see how high it goes. Hopefully, it goes higher. I would always love it. Again, I always love to go higher. But I can't ignore the fact that it's also had a fake out kind of breakout in the past with this previous run in September. And so the fact that it just barely broke out yesterday into today, I wouldn't surprise me to have another, kind of fake out. So we'll look at and I'll be watching that. Fannie Mae, awesome breakout yesterday from the 90s into the ones. I took it, Dom took it. I know a few people in the Clover room took it. So really, really awesome breakout to see. I know me and Dom have nostalgia from back in 2018 and
It was
2019.
wild.
These things really happened at least once a week. And we just repeated them over and over and over again. So yeah, great breakout. Normally, traditionally, the setup has us taking it overnight, but both of us didn't. I'll let Dom explain why he didn't, because I don't know, I'm not 100% sure, but I think it's similar to mine, which is given the fact that it's a breakout that's happened on the OTC market like this in such a long time, part of me is kind of questioning it. Like the fact that it's even happening is a blessing. Like, why am I even looking? Why am I even looking to try to be aggressive and continue this? On top of the fact it started to extend itself to the point of looking like its previous run back in August, and actually the run in August ended with a gap down. In pre-market here, we are actually gapping down 6%. So got a little bit, I would say, lucky of a guess there with the indicators in front of me. And so I did not take it overnight for that reason. Again, not a strong OTC market. If we were, I would think this would easily gap up, right? But we're just not in that world right now. So we are gapping down. Now, the unfortunate part is because we're gapping down, I don't really feel that strongly about relonging it at all. I did mention that on my watch list that I might rebuy it. Don't feel that way now that it's gapping down. The question now is, do I feel comfortable shorting it? And we're only up from 70 cents. So, we're up, what, 60% or so, 60, 70 maybe, 50 at best case or worst case. I can see it pulling back to 90 cents, which would give me enough range to justify getting short. The problem is if it gets there or not, right? If it doesn't get there, well, then it's like, well, you took a crappy kind of short. But if it does get there, okay, great works. And there's only one way to find out is let the market open and have it dictate for itself. So I am kind of keeping an eye on that idea. Other than that, ARBB was a kind of potential gap and crapper yesterday, but actually spiked pretty hard, but then faded pretty hard late day. And so now I think this is obviously backside. Any spike into $3 or 350, I think would be a great place of resistance for a spike to then fail and fade back. But unfortunately, I think that plan's not going to work out. We are gapping down 14% down to the low twos, which is honestly where I probably would have wanted to cover. So unless it has this amazing, amazing spike back green, I don't see a world where I really get a spike to 3 or 350 anyway. Granted, that doesn't mean this can't go lower. This can't go to 180. But my risk reward is off at this point, right? I'm not going to short here risking red green at 30, 40 cents just to maybe make 30, 40 cents. It's not a risk reward play I want to take. Other than that, we have Shot and Mullen that I've always been talking about, but I feel like I've been rambling on about those. Shot I've been in for almost like a month now. Coors Q, I said add it to the BTC watch list. And for those who aren't aware, the BTC watch list.
Oh my goodness.
Mara, Riot, HUT, HIVE, Coin, and now we're going to add ANY. I'm adding CORZQ to it because it is also an extended kind of crypto miner that is bankrupt, but is nonetheless still a stock. And just as crypto and Bitcoin continue to stay strong in the anticipation of an ETF coming, the more these keep running into that announcement, the more I think there's a possible sell the news of that. So I'm trying to look for the crappiest ones. And so considering Course Q is literally bankrupt, like it's in their ticker, that would be one I definitely would want to target the most. However, it is kind of on the less liquid side, but it has gotten more liquid in the last month. Again, no real rush. I mean, it's really, I really need to see this extend itself and even better an ETF come out. So I'm, again, no rush to play it there either, but that's the watch list.
That one's unfortunate. That was on my watch list last week before the breakout through 115. This is kind of like the opposite of everything we've been saying is the problem with OTCs recently. They're all beaten down. There's massive resistance and backholders everywhere. Course Q, on the other hand, was brushing up with a multi-day breakout in the low ones, as well as like an all-time highs breakout since probably it went to the OTC market. So you have this rare situation where it has a good catalyst, it's in the right sector, and it's a clean daily chart. And it was kind of what you said. It's nostalgic to play Fannie Mae, but it was also like, am I really going to buy two breakouts on OTCs in the same day? And I don't know why I just couldn't get myself to do it on Course Q. But pretty phenomenal final. Looks to be probably the final day of this move. Gap up already. So like a 115 multi-day breakout to 180. That's a dream. And in trading Fannie Mae, it reminded me of just the blessings that were OTCs back in the day. I bought this thing at 75 cents at the end of the day on Thursday. Clean morning spike into the breakout level on Friday. Gap it up, morning spike sideways, and then afternoon breaks on yesterday, Tuesday. It's just like never down in your position. You know exactly what you want to do. You want to add into the afternoon, into the sideways consolidation, sell into morning spikes, add them back into consolidation, and you do that until the run ends and it breaks some level of trend. And for me, Fannie Mae, yeah, it was everything you said why I sold yesterday. I kind of got a little, think a little too comfortable swinging overnight with it and not realizing that this has not been a trade that's been working very often. So I was like, am I really going to risk giving up, half the trade or more unrealized on a gap done? OTCs as well, for those who don't know. I think you can trade it right now at some brokers. On E-Trade, I wouldn't be able to sell right now pre-market. Some I think you can sell the last 30 minutes of pre-market. But so I would just be sitting here watching this gap down and not being able to do anything about it. And yesterday, when it's strong into the close and it's like 115 from 75 is where I was in from. It's a pretty good trade already. I didn't think I needed to be extra aggressive. And then what Kyle said, it's the exact same move from August where you had a decent sized green day and then a giant green day that led to it being the end. And the more I looked at that yesterday, I was like, take what you got. Don't need to risk it anymore and move on. Because I would be selling into this gap down at the open, which I'm sure others will as well. This did have a really nice first red day. I do remember it was like basically impossible to fill. It was straight down from 90 cents to 60. I think we were at the boot camp in Boston for that one. But I'll probably leave this one alone, see if it sets up any and for the future, kind of like Core's Q. ALT, I had blacklisted it for myself. I was one of the noobs shorting in here, risking off the previous breakout level, thinking that it was going to fade back like a bounce short. And then a few switches to long bias in there while I was short. And eventually it gets me to believe it's not doing either before it breaks out and goes from 8 to the 11s now. I'll probably leave it alone today unless we were to get some sort of blow-off move like we kind of had back here when it faked a first red day and then squeezed out multiple dollars, did like a triple top and then broke down into the afternoon. So looking for something similar to that. And if it isn't as clear-cut dry as that, then I will just probably leave it alone or wait for more extension for a move from 8 to like 13, 14, 15, like Kyle said, to make it a little more mentally easier. Like it's not going to do something crazy on me. What were the other tickers you talked about? Someone just brought up Poll. I don't see anything there. ANY, watching quite closely. I'm actually in this one from yesterday afternoon. I bought this breakout on Friday here over the 280 level. Built into it. Tried to be patient yesterday and find a new risk level, but ended up too quickly moving risk level to low day, which was like 278. Got stopped out by a penny there. My really nice position from like 270 average, and had to rebuy after the consolidation area in the 290s once I could move risk to 277. And so I'm in that one for a breakout today. Would be the breakout over the 320s. We're gapping into that level right now. Another one that's kind of in the Bitcoin space following the Bitcoin movement recently. So I like that sector. I like that. These are strong daily charts coming off of lows and multi-day breakouting, having multiple days of run, having gap ups. Those are all things I want to be longing when the time is right. So watching ANY quite closely as well. What was the one you said, Tup? You brought up?
Yeah,
kind of interesting one here. Really good day yesterday. A little more liquid than it feels. 11.6 million. Nice uptrend, strong day. That daily chart level 270 matters a whole lot. Great runner. Proved to be a great runner in the summer. It basically would go 2 green days, 1 consolidation day, 2 green days, 1 consolidation day, 2 green days. And it ended up working its way from like 1 to 6. Pretty great move. So if it wants to do something similar like that, I have a feeling anything from the 2 area up to 6 is going to be a little harder to move that clean just because of how much resistance is back here, when it was doing 60 to 200 mil a day. But it is, as we approach winter, everything does appear to be strengthening just a little bit. So I will be more interested in charts like this. I don't know if I would actually play this one because of all that resistance. Probably have to depend on the risk reward of the day I'd be watching it. But it is a nice little break of the lows. If it were to break over the 270 level, that would kind of be the first break of a previous high since that big run. And who knows, maybe it does lead to something bigger. I don't think I have any other stocks on watch. It's pretty much those. BETS, not really my style. Congrats to those who did nail it. Yeah, pretty insane from this one going sub penny. So just kind of bouncing off those lows. Probably just a lot of people who think that that can't continue and then it's going to have to come off those lows. And so far, so good. Not really something I'd ever be interested in shorting, so don't really care to root it on long.
Yeah, BETS too. I remember not really looking into it too much because I remember immediately thinking when I first saw it was like, man, like what's the delisting risk or what's like because it's like this the fact that it's even subpenning is wild to me or that it was, and so and I haven't been following the situation of why it even got there, so I was just like I didn't know enough about it, how frequently or how quickly a delisting could come for this thing. So I was like, I'm not gonna even look at it or to pay attention to it. And then in after hours when I noticed the indicators and then I saw it already gapping up and I was like, no, I can't take it now. So it's like it's kind of, end all, can't take it. Oh well.
Yeah, just a cool trade there. Good for smaller accounts, good for long buy traders who like that kind of thing. That was not for me. Let's take a look at some questions. When are those Good Morning NASDAQ mugs arriving? I'm working on it. Got to talk to management. But yeah, if you guys didn't know, merch, check it out. Link in the description. Get yourself all clovered out. We have a lot more on the site than we do in the person for boot camps. I know you guys, you like to get your shirts and your black hoodies. We do have different color hoodies. We got hats now, notebooks, mugs. So go on over there, check it out. Link in the description. Get yourself some Clover gear. Can you attend the boot camp virtually if you can't make it in person? Kyle, do you know the answer? I don't think so at this time.
No, we've kept it. In fact, a little sneak peek. Historically, we have not, and in the future we will not. But we have considered doing what Huddy and Dom did, which they called their Apex webinars, where we'll do either an all day or a 2-dayer kind of online thing specifically. So it's like we're only going to either only do in person for only in personers and no onliners, or only onliners are online and no in person. So we'll do a little bit of both this year and see how it goes. So stay tuned for those.
Okay. Get your bootcamp tickets. You guys know it. Hit that like button as well, that thumbs up button. We need probably 10 more to make me feel good about myself. Kyle, lower volume, but would you be interested in MIGI, better extension in history of day 3 red days?
MIGI. Yeah, good looking chart here. Yeah, volume is, I mean, it's there, but it's not as great as I would like. Um, and this is kind of what I meant by the beginning of Good Morning NASDAQ, where there's starting to become a lot of opportunities, which is very it's feeling and looking fruitful. And this is what I mean, where this daily chart looks good, and in another world, I probably would take it. But because I have already, 6 other tickers I'm watching, I probably don't take this because at some point, and this is what made 2020 and 2021 so great in terms of that bubble market, was like there were so many opportunities. I had to now start to pick which one. I'm not going to pick which ones I'm going to trade. I had to start picking which ones I'm going to purposely ignore. And so when I look at MIG, I have to say to myself, yeah, it looks good, and I probably should take it. But because the lack of volume and because there's other plays on my watches that have better volume, I need to focus on those and not this one. I am currently traveling, so I only have my laptop as well. So I really only have 5 charts up or so versus my 10 when I'm at a desk. And so for that reason, mainly if again in another world, if MIGI had much bigger volume, had the biggest volume in my watch list, then absolutely I'd be like, you know what, throw out another Fannie Mae. Sorry, Fannie Mae, you're done. And I throw an MIGI, right? So it's like I kind of have to rank them. And with the low volume on MIGI, I have to rank it to the point where I just don't even watch it today, simply because I don't have screen space. So that's kind of how I feel about it.
It's a good problem to have, but it also kind of is counterintuitive. I don't even know if counterintuitive is the right word. It kind of works in reverse, where everyone thinks when the market gets on fire and hot that it's easier to trade, and I think I would prefer somewhere kind of in the middle where we're constantly getting decent charts, but you know which ones you need to focus on, versus markets where you have 15 first red day opportunities in a week, and it's up to you to catch all of them, to be in a million places at once, to rank them, and then have all the regrets of, oh crap, I avoided this one, I attacked this one, I lost on that, I would have won on that one. There's a learning curve there too. When as the market kind of warms up and having multiple opportunities each morning, you do have to get really good at narrowing your focus down to the ones that you can either get the best risk reward on, how much shares you're going to take based off the price, which one's least likely to turn into a disaster, which one's most likely to work conviction wise. There's so many questions to answer when you're ranking these priority lists, and hopefully we get the chance to talk about that more, because that would mean the market is nice and hot. Thoughts on NXTP first red day? What did that do yesterday? It looks like yesterday was the first red day.
Yeah, so that one, technically yesterday is a red day. I know it doesn't look like it because it's a green candle, but if that thing closed lower than where it closed on, what was it, last
Friday.
week? Yeah. So wherever it closed on the 22nd, it closed lower on the 26th, making it a red day. So that's certainly not a red day pattern of ours. Nor is it really extended enough. It's only, I mean, yeah, it's up from 90 cents to now twos, which sounds extended, but it was really all in one day, which is never, if you're really looking for the first red day pattern, like 1 day runs is never ideal. You usually want 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 day runs. I know 7 tons are crazy, but we have seen them before. So yeah, that's so the fact that it's only 1 day run. Yesterday was a red day, and now today it's right where it was all 3 days in a row. Relatively speaking, like there's no play here for me. If anything, if I was a more long bias trader, I would feel like there's more upside to this thing, just because it shows zero signs of me wanting to short this at all.
Yeah, this one has a history of kind of doing this, where it gets super liquid, attracts in a lot of retail, and then they just turn off the volume button and let it do some wonky things, let it kind of grind back. That's kind of what happened here, I feel like, because was there news on that Friday morning? I don't think there
Uh,
was.
so I also thought this was the one that like everyone was trying to catch the delisting for.
It could be
Um,
that, yeah.
they haven't filed. Well, forgive me, I haven't checked in a few days, so maybe they have filed,
Yeah,
but
like
they
a
haven't
10Q or
filed
something, yeah.
their, yeah, they need to file their earnings to be compliant, and they haven't. So I think a lot of shorts were trying to be a part of this to like catch a delisting. So that could continually create a squeeze if it just
Yeah,
keeps
it's a
going.
situation where if you have overpatient shorts and there's no liquidity to get out of said position, or it's not even going down. In this case, it's just setting higher lows each day and supporting in the twos. Could be something there. Yeah, I'm not interested in it long today, because I just kind of feel like today is a decision day. We either break to the upside through 270 and show that we're strong for the short term, or we break down below previous day's low and show that we're rolling over. So I have no especially longing, which is something that has worked a little less well as shorting this year. Rather get more information, sit back, wait, and let it the thesis kind of build out over a little bit more bigger period of time. Someone said, "Did you guys catch pole?" Didn't know it was running. Didn't know someone threw it at me. I didn't catch it. I don't know what that means. Um, Looks like it's not doing anything. Had a really nice reversal day on Friday that I did miss, unfortunately. But now it's just kind of back to the low end of the range, so no real interest there for me. And it is 9:19 now, so we're going to wrap it up. I do see there is a big gapper this morning, FWBI. Big move over from the 13, closed yesterday at 4. So up 200 and what does that say? 58% already. So we'll see how that one affects the week. We will definitely go through all the gappers tomorrow morning right here on Good Morning NASDAQ. Wednesday's just today. We like to go through the watch list and see what we're watching for the day, which is normally only available to Clovers. But thank you guys for being here as we wrap up this last week. Stay safe. Don't try to force anything to make the year better or worse or whatever it is. Just get yourself mentally ready to go for the new year. Get all your stats done. Write in your diaries. Tell yourself, how you did on the year and the plays that you really want to improve upon, the habits you want to get going into the new year. all that. This is a great week for all of that. I know I will be working on it as well. Probably post a video lesson or two about it this week. If you guys are 4-leaf clovers. But we'll see you first thing tomorrow morning, 8:45 a.m. right here on the channel. And I don't know if Kyle will be here or it'll be Huddy, but you guys will have me. And we'll just continue to wrap up 2023 in the best way possible. We will see you guys in the morning. Have a wonderful day of trading.
Peace, everybody.